Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fanboys, fangirls, and especially this week, wrestling fans of all ages. You've come to the right place. This is the Vigilant Geek Podcast. My name is Andrew Puzak of Vigilant Geek Media, and with me, as always,
Holden Orme of Vigilant Geek Media.
And we have some special guests this week to introduce. Firstly, I'd like to welcome Nathan Burke back to the show. Nathan Burke's a Vigilant Geek analyst, and he's done a lot of stuff to help us out. It's great to have you back talking about wrestling again.
That's right.
And also introducing wrestling aficionado Vin Scorpion.
Yeah, what's up? It's good to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for being here. So, today we'll talk everything wrestling. You guys are both extremely knowledgeable, and Holden and I aren't too shabby either. It would behoove us to update everyone as to what's going on in current wrestling.
Good pun, because it's a Four Horsemen theme, and you said behoove.
Ah, yes, yes, of course.
So it behooves us to open with the Four Horsemen theme.
Yeah, no, that's a kick-ass entrance song, I have to say. But yeah, what's going on right now in the WWE and NXT? What's the current word, guys?
All sorts of hijinks. Well, they actually, I think more is going on right now in WWE as far as like changing the whole product than has been happening in probably the past 10 years.
So they're actually doing the brand split?
Yeah, they're flat out just doing a brand split, and people are going to get drafted. They're having a draft on, I want to say,
July 19th.
19th, yeah, okay. And that's going to be Tuesday. That's going to be the first live SmackDown. Very first live SmackDown ever. Well, maybe they might have had
shows.
They might have had the special shows, but
it's official. They're on USA too, which is
they're gonna It's gonna be great.
Well, I got the tinglies just hearing about it. That's for sure.
I'm not all for the brand split, though. I'm sort of anti-brand split.
I'm the same way, because remember before when he did have it the first time when Ric Flair and Vince McMahon both had the realm, you know?
Yeah.
And when they had that, it was like, okay, after the Survivor Series, he'd say, I'm the consortium that took over. And the
consortium was me! Woo! And then Vince McMahon does this weird reaction where he just pulls on his earlobe and he's like
he needed
wincing.
some Benadryl.
Yeah. That's actually one of my brother's favorite wrestling clips of all time when Ric Flair comes out. And Vince McMahon goes, very nice, Mr. Flair. You may go.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very nice, Mr. Flair. Yes, thank you. You may go now.
Then Stone Cold came out, claimed his title.
Yeah.
He was McMahon was about ready to get away to Kurt Angle and not even earning it. He's like, well, I guess what the spin of it was that Stone Cold turned on, did a double turn.
Yeah, he was with WCW and then he went back to WWF. But yeah, they did that whole. Because they did the whole invasion angle, which didn't pan out too well. Infamously did not pan out very well.
It was still exciting. But it
still
never lived
cool.
up to the hype.
Yeah, and one of the major problems was they still had those major guys still under these huge contracts that they weren't gonna, and they were like, no, screw you, we're not gonna come over we're getting paid for nothing. Just to these big Ted Turner contracts. So, obviously, they're not going to go to WWF. I think Booker T was the only one who famously actually did break his contract just to go to WWF because he knew that he would sort of gain favor with them early on, which he did.
Well, yeah. I mean, they hooked him up. I mean, you can only wrestle for so long, and then only the really the cream of the crop get to be picked to be the announcing talent.
Yeah. No, and
managers.
And
like Michael Cole.
another guy
Is
who
that a vintage Michael Cole?
Oh my God! Yeah. That was my Michael Cole.
They're just having fun tonight.
Or maybe Jonathan Coachman.
Hey, he's
He
doing
works
pretty
for
well for
ESPN
himself.
now, right?
Yeah, it's great how the WWE's partnered with them now.
Guess he's doing better than me.
I didn't get to watch the Bray Wyatt one.
Yeah.
I wanted to. And
I didn't see that either. Yeah,
Bray Wyatt was on the
ESPN.
with Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah, WWE has almost become, for announcers, like a training ground for ESPN people,
know.
because like they send people over there all the time.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
ESPN guys, like,
Well, they're wicked local, too.
They
They're
take
both-
wrestling announcers all the time.
also-
They're both headquartered in Connecticut.
Right?
Yeah,
That's true.
I
too.
drove by on my way back from North Carolina. I couldn't take a picture of it because you
Yeah.
know cops are right there, and I don't be taking pictures of stuff when I'm driving. I'm trying to rear end somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah, you got to picture your accident. No, I got proof right here, officer.
Yeah.
Why do you have a photo of the accident?
too, sir?
No, it's like it's a dash cam that you hold in your hand
Yes.
and that you look at while driving.
My holder broke. My holder broke.
But yeah, about Booker T. Yeah, he actually switched over early, and now he's a regular announcer for a lot of the pre-show stuff, especially. And does he do SmackDown still or no?
I remember before he was actually the general manager of SmackDown at one time.
Yeah, King Booker.
King Booker. he did the thing, and he played that really well.
And good for him, because he has no business being on an announced team.
No.
He should not be an analyst.
How many
He's
times?
yeah, tonight. He's like, yeah. I think that Kane's gonna win. They're like, why is that, Booker? And he's like, 'cause he's big, he's red, and he's a machine.
Now, can you dig that?
Sucker!
Speaking of Booker T, man, I love the time when he was with the NWO and WWE NWO.
Oh, yeah,
And
that
then-
was a good time period.
And
yeah.
then when it was like X-Pac and Kevin Nash were backstage with him, he's like, oh, you just hired, Shawn Michaels and all that kind of stuff. And then he did the HBK song but as Booker T. He started doing
Oh, God.
he
That
started
must have
doing
been
that thing.
awful.
He's doing that like, Book, I'm just a Booker T, I'm not just sucker. And he broke out. He's like, sucker.
Good old hijinks.
Yeah,
Good old
funny.
WWE
Especially him
hijinks.
with Goldust too back in the day.
Oh,
those were
yeah.
great.
Those were awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, Goldust is
Book
such
Dust.
Book Dust?
That was their team name.
Oh, yeah. But both of them are so colorful. Like,
Andrew.
Okay, you know what I mean. In regards to charisma, Nathan,
Yes.
no one's racist on this show.
Speak for yourself. Hey.
Hey. But no, they had some really, really entertaining tag team matches, I remember.
Their backstage vignettes are like hilarious.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can still look them up. Anything Goldust did really is
Even now he's doing it.
Yeah, the whole
Golden Truth thing. You know?
and to not to understate Golden Truth, but I think Breezango is maybe my new favorite tag team. It's Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're great. Their things backstage are awesome too.
Fandango's a riot.
No, that's like the perfect gimmick for Tyler Breeze, because by his own on his own, he's just a jobber. But like within someone else, he could actually make a pretty interesting tag team.
And Fandango was floundering too. They weren't doing anything with him, which is insane because
He's got a
think
great gimmick.
They must have been reading message boards and be like, "Wait a minute, our tag team division is like 3 teams.
Yeah.
Fuck."
Yeah. Basically, they've really beefed up their tag team division though in the past few months.
Well, I mean,
especially with,
historically, didn't they use the tag team wrestling as kind of the minor leagues for entry level wrestlers?
Well, no, tag team wrestling back in the day was a very rare commodity. It was especially back in the golden eras. But now, after a while, the tag team matches used up to warm up the crowd.
Really?
They were
Oh.
always a starting match back in
Yeah.
the day, and it's like to get the crowd involved because you have like teams going at it, especially big time. Especially when the Briscoes
Oh, and then there's and then there's always the stuff going on outside the ring too.
Managers getting involved, the whole chaos.
It opens something exciting.
That's why I love the Survivor Series, the original Survivor Series, because you had that tag team elimination stuff.
I love the idea of Survivor Series. It's one of the cooler events of the year, and there's so many cool events. Like, obviously Royal Rumble's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But then you got Survivor Series is pretty damn cool too.
Isn't that like a no shit tournament where they wrestle 4 matches for the belt?
Well, that was a Survivor Series pay-per-view at one time. It was called Endgame, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, King of the Ring is the tournament one, but
that's what King of the Ring.
But they kind of got rid of that. I mean, they do it on the network. Yeah. They had one on the network. I think King Barrett that's where that came from.
It's just kind of like the Andre the Giant Royal Rumble. It's something they like to give to people to get people to look at them a little bit and then try to get them like some juice.
Yeah, it's kind of like it gives them a little push. It gives them like basically more or less like a credit, like something to use as a character. Just say like, oh, I won King of the Ring.
Baron Corbin to come right at NXT, and that's his debut in the main roster. That was
which I don't think they push enough. I think the announce team should talk about that like constantly, because otherwise Baron Corbin doesn't have a lot going on for him as far as a persona.
Exactly.
He really needs any help he can get. He's not the most exciting personality. But like with Survivor Series, they kind of stopped doing those traditional Survivor Series matches. They'll do it sometimes. It'll be like the main event. I think it was last year. But this year they had a traditional Survivor Series match, and they usually only do 1, maybe 2 per year now.
Yeah.
In the whole event, where I miss the old days where they'd have these awesome teams.
Yeah.
Like the Ultimate Warriors or the Hulkamaniacs and
the Rockers.
Yeah.
They had the best names for their teams too, like the Dream Team.
The Dream Team, the $1 Million Team.
$1 Million Team with Ted DiBiase, yeah.
Yeah. The Visionaries, which I believe was Rick Martel and Rick
Rude
Rude.
in it?
That was a cool team. You had the 2 pretty boys.
Yeah.
I love Rick Rude's promos, especially in the beginning. He would say something like, whoever town he's in, so I'd like to have right now is for you fat, out of shape, Pennsylvania piss ants.
Yeah, and then he'd disrobe.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cheryl Roberts, back in the day, he started that rivalry with Jake the Snake Roberts, and he had his wife's face.
Who's your husband?
Oh, yeah!
And he did that. He had a match. He pulled his tights down, and he showed the tights. It's like Jake the Snake Roberts came out. You son of a.
Yeah. He had his wife's face on his dick.
It was her nose. Her nose was.
Yeah.
There's one way to piss off your opponent, I suppose.
Make your wife a dick nose.
My husband, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Personality of great mic work.
Yes. So what's going on with the different titles currently?
As far as like the brand split,
yes.
or how that's gonna
I believe they bring back the Cruiserweight title.
They definitely should,
and that's gonna be a SmackDown exclusive.
I couldn't be more excited about the Cruiserweight Classic.
Me too.
Those are always great matches. They always get guys with extreme ability in that class because they're agile.
I feel like having a party to watch the Cruiserweight Classic. They're doing this big tournament, an international Cruiserweight tournament with guys who aren't even under WWE contract. They're just guys from around the world, and they're gonna have it on the network.
That's so cool.
And they're
It's gonna be awesome.
Series, aren't they? It was always just one big thing.
I think they're probably just gonna. I don't know if they're gonna start with this one tournament and then go from there or what. But
that'd be cool though.
I bet Swoggle will be wrestling that.
He was. Actually, who was it? That was actually was he the cruiser? He was a
cruiserweight champion,
but he was also Intercontinental champion, wasn't he?
Oh God, was he?
I have to check my stuff. Yeah, but
that's just silly.
He held a major title.
There was a dark period between basically like 2006 and 2010, like 2007 2010 I think was a pretty bad period.
Yeah.
And like TNA started getting really good, and like I started watching TNA and I was like, this is better than WWE right now.
Yeah,
a lot better. And like it was after the Benoit thing.
Yeah,
and then they had to really just bring everything down, and
it's like they settled down. I look at it that was a tragedy, but people, I get heat for it all the time for being a Benoit fan.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Benoit fan.
Well, he was one of in regards to technique, one of the greatest wrestlers in that ring.
He can adapt to anything, and that's the reason why right now the guy to watch that I'm impressed with is Austin Aries.
Oh yeah.
Austin
Big
Aries,
Austin.
he can adapt himself to anything. He calls himself the greatest man alive. I'm like, well, it's hard not to prove that. and plus, he dates a good friend of mine that I'm on with Twitter, Thea Trinidad. She was doing this.
Shout out.
Yep, follow her on Twitter, folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like, he can adapt to anything. Like he was just doing that thing. Did you watch NXT? You watch
Yep.
NXT on the regular?
Yeah,
He's
he
up
cut
there
a good
like, "No way,
promo."
Jose.
Yeah.
Dancing with him, and you just give him the biggest forearm
Yeah.
shiver I can ever see.
Yeah.
and just started wailing on him.
Yeah, that the whole like obviously with Shinsuke Nakamura in there, they're really adopting the strong
I must
style
have
thing.
to watch that pay-per-view with him and Finn Balor.
Oh
Hasn't
yeah,
happened
yeah.
yet.
I know it hasn't happened yet. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
I'm
in-
saying I
got
still have to watch it. Come on.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Have it.
And that might even they've been building it up like they're friends, like those
It's
promos that they were doing.
respectful,
And I have a feeling that Finn's gonna turn heel, and then which will
join the
lead to
club.
him going to the club.
Yeah. I can't wait
on
for
Raw.
that to happen.
Yeah. are they even heels right now?
Yes.
The club,
Yeah.
AJ Styles, yeah,
He turned heel.
yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. AJ Styles right now as
That
a
was a
heel
great
is
setup, though.
fantastic.
When-
it's
when-
so good.
when he-
Really?
Yeah, AJ Styles is like a amazing heel right now. He's feuding with Cena, so they're doing this whole like
you know what? I remember seeing that on Raw.
yeah, they're doing this whole like dream match type of storyline.
Yeah. No, that's way cool. Yeah.
So they'll probably go into SummerSlam with that, I'd imagine.
That'll be good to see.
So do a big SummerSlam AJ Styles Cena, probably like a third match. I
yeah,
mean,
like the rubber match or something like that.
right.
Because AJ.
Oh, they're going to turn it into a series. Well, that's smart,
Yeah, it's a
considering
little
that the two
rivalry.
of them, AJ, he's probably ready for the belt.
Well,
But they're not going to give it back to Cena.
Nah.
Not anytime soon, I don't think.
Nah.
the thing with because I mean those are the two top guys of their respective worlds. Like I mean, obviously Cena was on top of
Wrestling
WWE for the past 10
universes.
years. Yeah, since like 2005.
We speak in universes here at the Vigilant
Yeah.
Geek. The WWE universe,
Universe.
the NXT universe.
and AJ Styles is the top of like the indie universe, I guess, for
Exactly,
the past
yeah.
10 years. So
yeah.
and TNA and New Japan. So.
New Japan. I wonder who's coming out of New. I don't know. See that I'd add that channel Axis, and every once in a while I could get a couple episodes, but like most of the stuff was pretty old because like I watched one match and it had AJ Styles actually wrestling for them.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
His first match AJ Styles had in NJPW was he won the title,
yeah.
and I was like, wow.
I brought him right over. Right? Who do you fight?
It might have been Finn Balor.
no,
Oh,
it
no,
was-
No,
it
because
was-
Finn Balor had left.
Yeah, he was on his way. He left and he came in,
Yeah.
but he beat.
So
the
he
top.
basically came in, like Finn Balor left as head of the Bullet Club, and AJ Styles came in as the head of the Bullet Club.
Oh,
So,
so,
like,
they
they
were
needed a
never
new
in
leader,
they were
and
never in
AJ
the
Styles.
club at the same time.
No.
No. Well, then it was like some obscure Japanese wrestlers on top of that. They do a lot of factions in that, I've noticed.
Yep. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
I'm
they
a
got
big
one.
I'm a big fan of factions.
Their gimmicks are funnier too. You remember that
Yeah.
one guy, Funky Weapon? Every move he did, every offensive maneuver he did with his butt.
Yeah.
So he's like attacking people with his ass, doing all these different moves. Like,
And his name is Funky Weapon because his butt
It's
is
funky.
a funky weapon.
It's funky. He had the onion blossom before he came in today.
Yeah, but I regrettably I haven't watched enough New Japan stuff or a
well,
lot of
it's
stuff.
not really widely available.
Yeah,
Until
where do you
they
find it?
You can like get it online probably. You can probably just look up stuff and
Yeah.
I
but-
mean, it's on. They probably have a streaming service.
yeah. I think you can subscribe to it.
Well,
Online.
when any of us find out, we'll let you listeners know as well.
I think I tried to go to it once and it was in Japanese and I couldn't figure it out. So the online streaming service.
Yeah, I actually bought Japanese Rosetta Stone, but I'm not there yet, so I can't help you, Nathan. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But you're getting there. You're taking the courses or whatever that they do on that thing. I know.
I do lots
You're
of
learning it,
pointing and clicking.
which I can't imagine being an easy task. Japanese sounds really hard. Like Russian sounds hard, but Japanese sounds really hard. Anyways,
I wanted
back. We should get back to wrestling though.
we shouldn't be too hard. Not for these guys.
But let's talk about some of the other belts.
Well, actually, I just wanted to mention about the Cruiserweight.
Oh,
title.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if they will. They should bring it back, because if they're going to do a brand split, they'll probably
have an exclusivity.
They might do the same thing they had originally, which was like have the Cruiserweight title on one show and have the women's title on the other,
Right?
and have like the two separate divisions be, exclusive to those brands. But
And then what? Have equivalents for the Intercontinental, U.S. and heavyweight, world heavyweight for each.
I don't know if they should do that.
No,
I'm not a
I think
fan of
that's
that.
how
I don't like the two belt
Yeah,
thing.
because they unified it already. Why
I
would you make
wouldn't. I
another
wouldn't even
champion?
like that. Like, there should be one undisputed championship.
And I think they should do that for the women's title as well.
But I like the Intercontinental Championship, because that's always been a thing in the WWE.
And the U.S. Championship is still around, so they could split those. That'd be fine. But no major title should be.
What they should do is
exclusive
just
to one
stick,
brand.
like, if it's on Raw, call it the Raw World Heavyweight Championship, and then they have the other one, make it the SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship.
They could do that.
And then the two champions can go ahead and fight once a year, make it a pay-per-view.
At WrestleMania.
Or just before WrestleMania. Well, actually, it would make sense for WrestleMania, because then whoever wins that would be undisputed. Of course, depending on, people trade belts fairly often. I guess the minute you won the belt, they'd have to put something in their contract that they get like 3 to 4 months of stability out of it.
It's tough, I know. Boxing has like 3 or 4 different heavyweight titles.
Yeah.
It's just like
dilutes the whole
but then
thing.
they have 11 or 12 different organizations.
Yeah, it's unbelievably crazy. Yeah, at least wrestling, you can make heads or tails of it. But
yeah, they had like the World Heavyweight Championship, the old WCW big, huge gold title on
the Ric Flair
SmackDown
belt.
before. Yeah,
right.
And they had the WWF title on Raw. They used to do it that way. The old spinner belt, which is awful.
that toy.
The John Cena belt. But
John Cena belt
it was
with
a spinner.
with the
He even spun the U.S. title, which is so bad.
Yeah.
look what I did to the championship belt. You can't see me.
I desecrated this.
I love it when JBL took that belt and lit it on fire, though.
Oh yeah, JBL was such a badass in his day, man. Or especially when he was
Great
in the
clotheslines.
when he was with Farouk too in the
APA.
APA. Yeah, that was really badass.
They were originally the Acolytes.
The Acolytes, yeah. That was a badass tag team. I used to love watching them. But Bradshaw, JBL, he was awesome. He's just he's an announcer now, and whatever. He's decent at that, I guess.
I like him as a heel announcer.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty good.
Yeah,
He talks so much smack, he's funny.
Yeah. Anyone who makes, I think they basically put Byron Saxton there so he would take some of the
Give me
heat
the
off.
punching
Yeah.
bag.
Michael
Give me the
Cole.
punching bag.
Yeah.
Like
Michael Cole was sick of being.
Michael Cole's like somehow managed to blackmail the McMahon family
yeah.
into job security, or maybe he's just like wicked good at paperwork behind the scenes.
Probably.
Like,
He's
man,
probably.
that Michael Cole, he freaking does paperwork crazy, and I don't care how much he butchers the microphone.
Paper bitch.
Oh
He's
man,
Vince's paper bitch.
yeah, go get me my permits quick and they split.
Or you're fired!
It drove me nuts. Like last week, Michael Cole always screws up. Like, and there's basically no repercussions for it. Like at the end, the climax of Raw, like last week. Not
You did,
know,
maybe, do you think that's like his character?
No, I don't think it's a work. I think it's
Because he
It's
used
not a
to be a
creative thing.
definite face announcer, and then he turned into a heel announcer, which is stupid.
Yeah,
Because they
'cause
had
that-
all
yeah.
heel announcers announcing it, and you're like, what the fuck?
No one's ever liked Michael Cole anyway.
He turned into a heel announcer for the same reason that Roman Reigns is like going toward heel, because people legitimately don't like him.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a planned thing. They're like
Yeah.
trying to force him on people, but last week, the climax of Raw. It was I believe it was Seth Rollins hit Dean Ambrose hit a Dirty Deeds on Seth Rollins. It was the last move of the show. And he hits the Dirty Deeds on Seth Rollins, and Michael Cole goes, "Pedigree!"
Yeah, I remember
Pedigree!
that. I'm like, what?
And I was just like,
What a dumbass.
And I was like, that was like the last thing that happens on the show, and you call it wrong.
That's like Mike Adamle messing up everyone's name.
Wow, Michael Cole.
Do you remember Mike Adamle?
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
It was horrible.
Mike Adamle. Gee, why would they?
Go back to American Gladiators.
Wasn't he a
dude.
GM for a brief time? I bet they'll bring him out. They should bring him out because they're bringing out all the GMs. They're bringing out all the old general managers right now.
Bischoff?
They should bring out Bischoff.
Yeah,
Bischoff would be awesome. I've always been a huge Bischoff fan.
Actually, they should especially bring him out because they're coming out with a DVD of him.
Oh, I want to watch that DVD because
Yeah, they're gonna plug it.
Bischoff, like, you think McMahon is like the biggest fucking prick in wrestling. He's not. Bischoff is.
Yeah.
Bischoff, there's no one who, not even Paul Heyman, no one's a bigger prick than Bischoff. I love it. It's hilarious. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's just
He
like-
wasn't paying anyone in WCW and like they were getting bullshit.
No, he was. No, you're thinking of Heyman.
I thought
Heyman-
Bischoff was doing
No,
that.
Heyman was
Oh.
paying people very, very well. He was paying people off Ted Turner. He was paying people to sit at
Heyman-
home.
Ted Turner's money.
Heyman or Bischoff?
Bischoff was paying people Ted Turner's money. he had an open
right, yeah.
checkbook, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he denies that specifically.
So
but
it was ECW then.
ECW,
Yeah,
Heyman,
okay.
Heyman couldn't really. Heyman was bouncing checks on people.
Oh, that's what it
McMahon-
was. Okay.
McMahon bailed him, funded him for a while.
Yeah, and in WWE, WF, McMahon helped fund ECW. at
Good
that
old
time.
Uncle Vince. Well, thankfully he did that because, I mean, ECW sprouted so many really awesome, talented people. I mean, you got CM Punk as the
Well,
first.
that was like the new ECW.
All right, you want to talk
He
old
wasn't,
ECW?
he wasn't in the actual ECW. He was in like the WWE resurgence of ECW.
Okay,
which was
let's
kinda
talk.
like a
Let's talk. All right,
watered
what
down.
about Rob Van Dam?
Yeah,
There's
Rob Van
one
Dam's
that-
probably the biggest name that come out of.
Sabu.
Sabu, yep. I'm
They
trying
even
to-
had Sandman for one match.
Yep.
And then,
Sandman was started to go on a pretty good WWE run.
Yeah, he was.
And Vince McMahon liked him apparently, and then he got in a fight backstage with Ricky Steamboat, and
no, that's
the
it.
and
Dragon.
they let him
huh?
go. And they
They
let
lost to
Sandman go.
Steamboat.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, Steamboat. You don't fuck with Steamboat.
yeah. Even if you are a Sandman,
It's going Bear Man.
who basically invented the Stone Cold gimmick. He was
Pretty
doing
much
that.
had
He
the
was doing that
popping the
before
bears and
Austin did it.
Smashing on his head.
Yeah. So he doesn't get enough credit for the achievements he's made in pro wrestling. He was the first beer drinking slob in pro wrestling, really.
Remember the first one night stand they had? And he was like, "Give me a beer, man." He's like, "Here's your beer." He's like, Stone Cold's like, "Jesus Christ."
Oh, and they're at the end, when they're all in the ring, and he's just like, he's like Austin's like looking at Sandman like, I think this guy's had enough.
And for Stone Cold to say that about somebody, you know, that's pretty
Sandman's
bad.
just like falling out of the ring, like drunk. That was an amazing pay per
He
view.
used to open himself up with 22-ounce beers all
Hmm.
the time.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about that one night stand today because someone posted a picture on some wrestling group I'm in of Bischoff giving the finger.
Yeah,
And I was like, I believe he was giving the finger to Heyman.
yeah, because he's like he used to say, "I just got done smoking a J with Rob Van Dam."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, he's shot. He's like, "You want to shoot, cowboy?"
yeah. That was a great. And if Cena wins, we riot. That was the second one though.
Yeah, but
the
he kept
first
throwing
one.
back the shirt.
Yeah. The first one night stand was all ECW, which was excellent. I did like the second one too, when they had like the WWE versus ECW guys. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, it just went to shit. Obviously.
I like the first one because it was more nostalgia.
Yeah.
You had Chris Jericho back to Lionheart.
Right,
Chris
and they
Jericho
came out with
came
the
out
old
with the original-
music and the old
original
tights and
tights and
stuff.
everything.
Yeah, it was great.
Vintage
tights.
super crazy, and they call him Rey Mysterio back then. They call him Rey Mysterio Jr.
Right.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, they had Super Crazy. Was it Super Crazy and
It was a triple threat. It was Tajiri,
Tajiri?
but they used his full
Who
name.
Tajiri's coming back for that Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Did you
that.
see
Yes.
Did you see the intro of everybody?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He was talking about on what's that, the PW Torch
Mm-hmm.
that I read, and I was like, well, that's gonna be great to see the Buzzsaw come back.
Yeah. So there's him and Brian Kendrick are two old names
Well, that's
that
good
are
because
coming
Brian
back.
Kendrick helps a lot of new talent too.
Yeah, because he owns that. He
has
runs
that-
that
yeah.
Guerrilla Wrestling thing, right?
Yeah, he's been helping a lot of young talent come
Yeah.
around. They come through NXT, and some of them haven't even been there yet. And
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Brian Kendrick. I've always been a big fan of London and Kendrick.
That was they were the longest running tag team champions.
Yeah, and I think New Day just surpassed them or something.
Yeah, well, they are catching up to them.
Well, they have like 1 month before they've had it longer than anybody.
I think something like that. It's very close.
But I like how the Wyatt family.
I could just see them beating them before then, though, because it's just like the type of thing that would really rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
WWE loves doing that to people.
Yeah. They take the rug out from under them.
Yeah.
It's very Game of Thrones of them.
Yeah, pretty much. I think like it's just Vince McMahon. Every time he wants to get his rocks off, he completely ruins a storyline.
Triple H, go out there and squash that guy who the fans like. They did that with Daniel Bryan. They did that with the last Ambrose's last run, but then he won the title. So obviously the story developed and came back around.
Yeah, and then once it became an organic thing of like us versus authority, then all of a sudden people really get on board with that shit.
Oh yeah, especially with the Daniel Bryan thing. Although they should have done basically Daniel Bryan's the whole yes movement thing, that whole like the people coming together and like helping someone become champion. They should have done that with CM Punk, because that's basically what CM Punk was doing.
Yeah, he was the voice of the voiceless.
Right. So he was basically like that man of the people sort of thing. So, but they ended up doing it like 2 years, and that was during the whole Occupy movement.
Yes.
That's why it would have been good timing. But they ended up doing it 2 years later with Daniel Bryan, and I was like, way to be on top of things.
And I meant yes, no pun intended.
They never wanted to do that in the first place, though.
What?
Like, well, with the people lending support to Daniel Bryan, is like such a true face like that, and then all of a sudden they're forced to take the company in a direction they don't want it to go.
Right. Yeah, they...
But the thing is, like, wrestling fans are usually so loyal that, like, they'll watch it and hate life.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I wonder if there's, like, a statistic they keep an eye on, like wrestling fan suicides or something, when the storylines are fucked.
It's got to be something like that. There are a lot of crazy wrestling fans.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, like, just borderline insane people.
Like, in those major smarks, they think they know everything about wrestling.
One thing that I hate right now is all the hatred prior to the suspension towards Roman Reigns, because he's good. He's good in the ring. I think he's a solid worker.
He needs a mouthpiece.
He just stinks on the mic. And that's it. But people will do the whole "you can't wrestle" chant, and it's like, no, that's not Roman's problem. That's not his issue.
No.
His issue is that he sucks on the mic. He can't sell a match.
We'll do like a storyline where he gets hit in the throat and Paul Heyman becomes his mouthpiece.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if Heyman was.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think Roman would be a great Heyman guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, you don't have to talk. He's just going to beat you up.
Yeah. Because he was building him up enough against Lesnar. He was like, he's a badass Samoan. He was
I was like, yo, I'm starting like Roman Reigns now. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, that's what Heyman does. He's an old school type of promoter or manager where he'll build up the opponent. Like he's not going to tear down the opponent, because the more you build up the opponent, the more impressive it is when your guy
runs right through him.
Right,
which is what Lesnar does to people.
That was an old thing that Jericho talked about in his first book. I haven't actually read his second or third books, but he talks about like learning promos and stuff like that. And he was fighting, I forget which guy it was. It was some old promoter that was still a wrestler. Maybe not Vern Gagne, but I think another guy.
Like Todd Gordon?
Maybe. I don't really remember. But it was in some
NWA.
It was in some southern promotion though.
Oh, maybe it was like Jim Crockett Promotions or
something like
that.
I can't remember. But
was it Florida?
I'm not sure. But either way, he was talking about like this old promoter was basically. I know who it was. I'll think of it. Hold on. It was a wrestler, but he was sort of running his own promotion.
Bill Watts?
No, he was a famous wrestler. He had like sort of I think he had like a Polish last name. I can't think of the.
Killer Kowalski?
Not Kowalski.
Ivan Putski?
No. Damn it. I'll think of it. All right.
Teddy Bruschi?
But anyway, he told him like he was cutting a promo again. It was like some young guy versus an old guy type of thing. And basically Jericho was saying like, "Oh, he's old. I'll kick his ass" and stuff like that. And the older wrestler was like came up to him after. He was like, "Congratulations. You basically just said like if you win, which you won't because I'm gonna win. If you win, you beat up an old guy. Who cares? If you lose, which you will because I'm going to win, you lost to an old guy. So don't say like don't like tear down your opponent and say like he's weak or anything like that. So because it gives you no credibility. So it's good, wrestling psychology.
It's probably Nick Bockwinkel or something like that.
Yes,
Nick
it was Bockwinkel.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Nick Bockwinkel. That's who it was.
Yeah, former AWA
I would have
champion.
never been able to guess that.
Well, I had to go through my head of my
Like,
Rolodex of wrestling knowledge.
With weird last names. Bockwinkel.
It sounds like Bullwinkle's cousin or something like that. But he was a great talker too. You ever see one of his promos? He would talk very analytically and use big words. So he's like, "Because I'm smarter than you, and I'm better."
Yeah.
And Chris Jericho started doing that too.
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
while, coming out in suits and.
I love that.
Like, what does he read a dictionary every day, Mr. Thesaurus man?
Yeah, I love that incarnation of Jericho because he always changes it every couple of years.
Well, right now he's just really pompous and calls everybody stupid idiot. Although
idiot!
hasn't he been calling people that for most of his career or no?
Maybe not stupid idiot specifically. I think he always used to say stupid in the ring. He'd be like, "You're stupid."
He called people ass clowns a lot.
Yeah, ass clown. And I miss the old. He does it sometimes. The old pin with the 1 foot on the guy, and he
did it at WrestleMania.
Come on, baby, and flexes.
And everyone started marking out for that. He's like, "Let's go, baby."
Yeah. That's some WWE versus NWO World Tour shit right there.
Oh yeah.
That's some old N64 video games.
That game.
wow.
Played so many sleepovers playing that game.
WCW Mayhem.
Yeah, and Revenge. Great ones.
Good old N64 games.
But yeah, Jericho right now, he's his gimmick I think is mostly like a wrestling legend who has like a god complex.
Yeah.
Like he just thinks he's like this superior being.
Yeah.
Drink it in, man.
He just sounds like a guy that's on a Cheech and Chong movie when he does that.
I'm giving you the gift of Jericho. Drink it in, man. He's hilarious right now. Like it's so good. In his promos with Kevin Owens, like they're comic. And
forth.
that thing on like Sami Zayn plays a great straight man to them too. So it's just a great sort of classic comedy
what are you
dynamic.
talking about? You just said that. You say it all the time.
Yeah. Could someone explain to me Sami Zayn's gimmick though?
He's just
a typical babyface.
He's sort of done this thing his whole career though. Like he was El Generico, and it's sort of almost like the anti-gimmick.
So like he's just like, all I do is wrestle and I don't have any character.
Sort of like that's more or less what
constant
he's going
underdog type thing. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen
like
some
he's like a creative wrestler.
that Shinsuke Nakamura match that with him was when he was about to leave was insane.
Yeah, that match was incredible.
That was absolutely nuts.
And they were just
I loved it. I don't know. I'm really excited about the future.
Oh yeah,
I like NXT because some of it's a less polished product and it gives you better appreciation of the new stuff. Oh, well, I mean not the new stuff, the Raw and SmackDown.
The weird thing about it too is that since they're doing that draft, I don't know if they're gonna because they've already said like, which show are we gonna end up on? They've had superstars saying that to each other like, I don't know what show I'm going to.
They had that huge tease though with NXT The End, and they said that it was the end of the beginning.
Yeah,
and now it's the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
Or that was the beginning and now this is now. I personally just think it would be too stupid for them to go ahead and abandon the farm system like that.
I wish I had a Spaceballs soundboard right now. This is now. Whatever you're seeing now is happening now. But what was that? That was then. That was then.
We do it now, later, or now?
We went past it.
I just see.
When will then be now?
I see like
soon.
I see a lot of NXT people going to SmackDown because in order to like kind of like break yourself in a little bit, people always went to SmackDown first for a little while. And remember, like back in the day, they had Velocity or something like that as like pre-show.
Heat.
And Sunday Night Heat was like for Raw.
Oh God,
Velocity
Sunday Night Heat is so bad.
And it's like Velocity to me was like almost like a very watered down version of Thursday Night Thunder.
Yeah.
From WCW.
But yeah, Velocity, like as bad as Heat was, Velocity was the SmackDown version of Heat. So imagine how much worse Velocity was than Heat.
When was it on?
And AJ Styles debuted on that show.
Yeah, I saw that recently. I'd never seen
They're
that.
not doing Sunday Night Heat anymore, are they?
No.
They do main
Thank
event.
God. The funny thing is
Superstars
that's all
still,
I
right?
used to watch because I'd like.
It was like Sunday night.
Yeah, and you know, there's never anything on a Sunday, and Raw would be on like start a little too late.
Heat
Like,
was actually,
like,
I think,
it'd be like one TV in the house at the
Yeah.
time or some shit.
I think that like sort of became their first online show. Like you could go to WWE.com and watch Heat
Like
because they didn't have a
Livewire.
TV deal anymore.
Like Livewire.
They're
back
like,
in the day.
no one's watching Heat, so let's put it online.
Oh, they would do like a special, like an hour before the pay-per-view started.
Well, they spent
Yeah,
all that
too.
time exclusively on UPN, right?
SmackDown?
And then
Yeah.
and then
Wow, yeah.
Did it start on UPN?
and then they moved back to USA.
They went from UPN,
There was
and then
so
it was
CW.
CW, and then they went to what Sci-Fi afterwards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wait a minute. So the CW actually had wrestling on it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
what SmackDown
That's
was
so
on.
funny because
SmackDown's always
the
been supposed to be a
the WB used to like, and still, well, I mean, the CW kind of still is now. 'Cause I just couldn't imagine the CW now having wrestling on.
They started that so they could, if people didn't have like, I guess cable, they could watch on regular channels.
Right.
And-
Which was interesting because I used to notice that there were more, like they were definitely going to a more like minority demographic
Yeah.
with SmackDown. They had a lot of like the Spanish wrestler, like like Rey
Cruiserweight,
Mysterio.
yeah.
It was like Rey Mysterio, Booker T, like
Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, like there were a lot of black and Hispanic wrestlers on SmackDown, much more so than on Raw.
Wow, that's
Like, but Undertaker
So-
was always pretty much on
Because
it.
obviously,
that's like some
black and Hispanic
market
people.
research that came out really racist. And they're like, well, if these people are all picking up antenna signals, let's give
Yeah.
them something to watch.
yeah.
It's almost kind of considerate, but it's
Well,
still
Booker,
wicked
we're gonna put
racist.
you on the poor show.
That's okay, they're my people.
You're on the B
Sucker.
show.
yeah, yeah.
But when Paul Heyman
But
took
yeah,
the
Guerrero,
reins,
you're right too.
when Paul
Guerrero's-
Heyman took over the reins as general manager, it started stepping it up a bit.
Yeah, they had the SmackDown 6,
Yep.
which I wrote one of my articles about recently was about the SmackDown 6, how they really need to have like a new sort of core group on SmackDown to build it up, because back then it was Kurt Angle, Benoit, Guerrero, Edge,
Taker.
and although he wasn't really considered in that group because he was already established.
All right.
So it was like kind of the guys like that were new that they were still trying to build up, but they wanted to like just rotate these guys in and out. So in Mysterio, yeah, was one of them. Edge, Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, and who am I forgetting? Was it Chavo? Might have been Chavo. Not sure. Okay.
They were good. They were great as a tag team, Chavo and Eddie.
Yeah.
That's when the whole lion cheating and
they had the
stealing
Guerrero.
started.
Yeah. The nephew and uncle team who are only 3 years apart.
Yeah, I know, right?
Must be a big family.
Very big family. Yep.
Huge.
Guerrero family.
It's like, I think Guerrero is probably the largest, bigger than Hart's, right?
Probably. Yeah. Because the Hearts were big because the sisters married so many different
They're
guys
best
too.
friends.
Yeah, like the British
Davey Boy,
Bulldog,
yeah.
and they had basically a lot of in-laws more than anything else. The Guerreros just had like 11 kids.
Hey, we can build the ring now.
Yeah, let's wrestle in the backyard in our legitimate wrestling ring.
Yeah, I used to do that, but put my mom's couch together and have a Royal Rumble right there in the living room.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, mom's beds were always a good wrestling ring.
some had too much bounce to it and they ended up in the wall. You know, but it happens. It's a good bump.
So here's some good speculation, fun for us to play around with. Who should go to SmackDown to establish that brand as like sort of like a modern day SmackDown 6?
Cena, and then they should rename it to one of his stupid sayings.
But I mean, because they have all this new talent, like who, as far as sort of less established guys?
I feel like you need to do it half and half, because like you need established guys in both in order to give credibility to both. NXT doesn't really have that issue, but like then again, like they only really just started like recruiting the best wrestlers from the independent markets.
The thing, and the thing is, they
it's
have
like-
all those guys. So are they going to draft just from the main brand, or are they going to draft people from Raw, NXT, which is kind of what they should do? Like
I
treat
think they
NXT like a
everyone like how we did it. Anyone in the WWE is part of the draft, like even announcers, managers, all that kind of stuff.
and that'll add an actually interesting dynamic because they're guys who are free agents, and they could even draft people from
and be surprises too.
other companies that
That
are
makes-
like coming in.
I kind of like that idea.
yeah,
like
I said a while ago that I thought they should try to create more of the illusion of it being an actual sport. Like with New Japan, they have a timer on, and then they say at what time the match was over.
Yeah, they
And,
usually
and they
have
make
like a
it,
20 minute.
and then they make the matches kind of matter, with that fake legitimacy.
Yeah,
That horrible oxymoron. that
Which-
you said.
yeah, but that.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Oh yeah, that suspension of disbelief type
The
of
one
thing.
thing I would love to see is if I know he hasn't really talked about it too much, but imagine if somebody needed a general manager of SmackDown and it was Kurt Angle.
Oh, that would be good.
That'd be the sweetest.
And
thing.
that could lead into having like a couple
matches.
before he retires because he's beat up.
That's
He's
what
old.
I'd love
Well,
to see.
he never stopped, right?
No, but he probably should have. Like he's not in great health. That's like kind of if like a guy like Edge or Daniel Bryan kept wrestling, even though they have like those problems. It's like Kurt Angle's sort of in danger of like paralyzing himself more or less.
He was in
'cause
danger
he's-
of that back at the Olympics.
was
Wasn't he
a-
wrestling with a fucking broken neck?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what
he won the
said,
gold
too.
medal.
Yeah,
I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
he was so good he wouldn't even swear.
Yeah.
I drank milk.
Yeah, Angle's great, but yeah, he's still wrestling. That's why WWE released him in the first place because he refused to like take a
The
break.
schedule. Well, yeah, but I thought I was the other way around because he wasn't getting enough rest, and he was like, "I'm breaking down. I need some time off." And he was losing his wife at the time.
I always thought it was
TNA gave him a better
deal.
where it's like less time on the road and you can always stay home. And he liked it.
Wait a minute, which one is it, though?
I thought. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I always thought they let him go from WWE because
just asked for his
he was
release
like
and they gave it
addicted to
to
painkillers and he was kind of becoming a liability and he like refused to take a break.
And he went up to McMahon. He said, "I want my release," and he's like, "I promise not to, do whatever." And he acknowledged that because you usually have like a 30 or 60 day,
No compete
no
clause.
compete clause. And then when that ended, he's like, "Well, here we go."
Yeah, and then he went to TNA.
Yeah, which
And
I come out to that music from it sound like Lunatic Fringe. It was Lunatic Fringe, the song.
oh, okay.
No reference to Dean Ambrose, even though it wasn't Lunatic Fringe, or he wants to be called the Dude.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
dude-
what did Jim Ross, like I follow Jim Ross on Twitter, he said that Dean Ambrose's character is a cross between, I forgot.
was it Pillman?
No. Like
'Cause I
Bill
remember-
Murray and like Charles Manson or something.
I didn't read that.
But I like your reference
guess it
too.
makes
He's
sense.
more like a loose cannon. Brian
Yeah,
Pillman.
he's to me. He's a. I mean, I'm a huge Brian Pillman fan, so to me, he's kind of like a watered down Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
Brian
Pillman's-
Pillman, 9mm.
Fucking Pillman.
I prefer Dean Ambrose. Like
And
the
I'm gonna
question.
whip out my Johnson and take a piss in this hellhole. That's what he said at his ECW debut, and he did. And he like tried to take it out, and like they were like, no.
It's nuts.
But I can see I think one person that can actually take it to answer your question for SmackDown if they like hey, I'm pretty much real big Austin Aries mark
Yeah,
right now. If he took it, he could be champion.
and he needs I don't know. He needs something because he's just like I feel like he's being not held back, but
It's like lost in the mix.
yeah, there's nothing that really stands out about him right now, but he'll get there. Like I mean, once they do the whole thing with Finn Balor and Shinsuke and they might even go up to Raw and SmackDown during the draft. That would be a cool get for either. Like
Yes.
if they did Balor and Shinsuke and then they did the draft and each of them were drafted to the selected brands.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because they're ready, obviously.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, they're solid professionals. They already knew how to do it. Now they're just showing WWE that they know how to do it. And now that they've built up enough hype down in NXT, which both of them have, Balor probably could have came in 3 months ago. Shinsuke I mean, he's ready now.
Samoa Joe will probably get called up soon.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
he's the title, but yeah, they'll do a thing probably with Samoa Joe and Austin Aries maybe for the title. Drop the title to
Austin,
Aries and then bring up Samoa Joe.
That'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think he'd probably be on SmackDown.
Samoa Joe? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think they do the same thing to Shinsuke Nakamura too.
I like to see Shinsuke on Raw.
I would.
It is interesting though. They do have more of like the ethnic wrestlers go to SmackDown. Like they always have done
Like
that.
we said earlier.
Yeah, and there is a reason. There is a actual demographic marketing reason for that.
But now everything's both on USA. So.
Right. So it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
anymore. So they might try to
I
balance it out.
Yeah, I think it's with the WWE network. I mean, any serious wrestling fan worth his salt's gonna have it.
Yeah.
So
When I think about the my big gripe about the network is why are you gonna have commercials? Why are you gonna have advertisements
On the network,
yeah, they're
This is your
advertising their
network.
own stuff.
I'm like that. This makes no sense. Like I'm watching a pay per view. I missed back in the day when you had promos in between matches. You build up a match even before the match.
Well, they started doing that on pay-per-views, flat-out pay-per-views. They started having like at least WWE commercials. Like you'd buy a pay-per-view and you'd have to like sit through like a
Yeah, they've really cut down on promos because of that.
yeah. They're trying
Like,
to make
They don't really shoot them anymore. They're just relying on the superstars to develop their own hype through social media, and a lot of them don't care. Like Dean Ambrose flat out does not use his Twitter account.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He's got like a shit ton of people.
Oh, really?
I like following him, and he has like 0 tweets. It's so funny.
He's like
He's like, they made
just
me get
doing
one
it.
of these.
So here you go.
Even Bray
you go,
Wyatt.
enjoy.
Even Bray Wyatt tweets sometimes, which totally goes like against kayfabe. Like, why would Bray Wyatt be using Twitter?
You know who's awesome on Twitter is Luke Gallows.
Oh yeah,
Luke Gallows is awesome. I've been following him for a while now. He put some crazy. He put a picture of a chicken. No description, and people are like, "Oh, that's a nice cock, Luke." You know.
yeah. Yeah, I gotta follow more people on Twitter because some of those guys are like Kevin Owens is great on Twitter.
Oh,
No,
he's so-
Twitter's great for people who would normally be stalkers or people who want to go ahead and get direct content from other people like local creators, wrestlers, writers. I follow any number of people who are involved in comic books, and then sports stuff too.
It is a
Follow
great
sports
networking
stuff.
tool, though.
Yeah.
It's great networking.
Yeah, because I mean, with Facebook, it's like you post something, it's like you're yelling out loud at a family barbecue. If you go on Twitter and you use the right hashtag, you're yelling it out into the entire fucking universe. That's how it works.
And I'm starting to get better at hashtagging stuff.
Yeah. I come up with some pretty good ones. Hashtag you suck or
Yeah.
hashtag you can't touch my muffins.
Wait, and a good thing to do is probably just to like go on and find out what's trending, and then just like, oh, here's a tragedy, and then go ahead and try to market your article.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Is it too early for a meme?
I know a lot of people who do stuff like that. They'll just be on Twitter all day, just commenting on whatever's trending, just to to get more followers. And
that's
it's smart.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
why they hire a lot of people hire other people to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. It's absolutely time consuming, especially if you have any decent amount of following. Your phone probably would run out of battery in 10 minutes because the damn thing's constantly vibrating
Right.
or blinking.
Yeah.
Or whatever they do.
Whatever it does, bounces up, tells you.
Well, they do both.
But the one thing I hope they don't do with the women's division is like, if they break it up, I'd like to see like back in the day. Remember how like Brock Lesnar was undisputed champion?
Yeah.
After a while, they became exclusive to SmackDown, but it was just primarily the main champion. They got through both brands.
Right.
I'd like to see that happen with the women's division too.
Yeah.
Like you have some up and comers that are like Bayley needs to come up. At that,
Yeah, she's the Finn Balor of the women's
Yeah,
division.
she's
Like,
just
be like,
sticking
you've been in
around.
NXT forever, and it's like you don't need to be. Like, they need to. So it'll be good when they finally do, and they're obviously doing that on purpose to build
Yeah.
like when they
Anticipation.
finally do come out, it's gonna be like a huge pop. So
Yeah.
They need to have like a fatal 4-way. They need to bring up Bayley and then have her, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and then
Well,
maybe
the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, and then have
Yeah.
them all go at it for the belt and make it like the main event on a pay-per-view.
They
Well,
got
they
a
got-
ladder match.
well, they got Sasha Banks back in there right
Yeah,
now.
I'm so glad she's back. She's
what,
my favorite.
What was she doing for a while that she wasn't like even on TV?
I think. Well, I don't know. I know she was doing that the magazine shoot.
Okay.
She admitted that, but I think it's something creative, or she got hurt or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a minor injury.
Yeah, and it's just like creatively, it just wouldn't pan out right. But now it's the perfect time because Charlotte's been getting over a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
maybe Bayley will come out in for SummerSlam.
That'll be
because she's a fun, upbeat person at SummerSlam. It's the biggest party of the summer, right?
Everybody wants a hug at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like she really hit her with the cane like she did to Tommy Dreamer on the Edge of Christian show.
That was a good one. That show got so much, like, when that show started, I was like, it was a couple funny things. But as it went on, it got really funny.
It was like they got their nervousness out of this.
The Sean Mooney one was excellent.
Oh
Classic.
My God. Him sitting next to Mean Gene.
Yeah.
They're all doing their shtick. He's like, are you kidding me?
And he serves him like, what he serves, like a cup of shit to Tommy Dreamer. And Tommy Dreamer, and Christian was like, Mooney's a fucking legend.
Like, is Christian still with the WB or he's not like
there was a
active
formality.
wrestler.
Basically, yeah, he's not an active wrestler. So when they said like they let him go, it was like a formality. They're like, it was like in Office Space when Milton.
Why? Yes.
Oh.
They're like, so we fixed the glitch. He's no longer works here. He's not. He's like, but for some reason he was still getting paychecks, but now we fixed the glitch. So that's what they do with Christian. Yeah,
that's an awesome.
He'll
movie.
figure it out. Yeah.
He's like, I haven't got paid.
Yeah.
Have you seen my stapler?
Yeah. So like, I think Christian was just like still like under contract as an active wrestler, so they just cut that part of the contract.
I got really upset. I'm like, why would they do that? Edge and Christian show is like is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of something that you like.
Which means he'll probably be retiring, I guess. I mean, if he's not doing anything. I think he will. He'll get a minor one. I don't think he'll be like the star of the Hall of Fame, but yeah, he'll be on there, I think, in the next couple of years.
I like to see somebody go in there, but it's not many big names left.
I mean, Daniel Bryan will be a big one.
Oh yeah,
that'll
definitely.
be at least in a couple of years. Who else? Rick Rude obviously still needs to go in.
I know, why not Rick Rude?
It is weird, yeah. He's just like how Savage was for so long.
Well, I heard that with Savage had a lot to do with Lanny. It was like, I want to make a deal.
I heard that too.
I'm like, no one cares about you, genius.
Yeah.
I didn't like you as a gimmick. Cause I'm like, you were Mr. Perfect's manager. I'm like, that's the only thing that made you famous. You were hanging with Kurt Hennig.
I mean, I love the genius. He
was got hit. He's so like,
he was a great
poet.
He was a great heel too. He was like one of those original cowardly, like
he was
genius heels. Like
remember
smart
before
guy.
that he was a sleeping Lanny Powerful. We used to throw his frisbee with the poem he had on.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who always came out there with like a tennis racket that looked like it was like
Jim Cornette?
Jim Cornette.
Yeah, was that him?
Yeah.
He'd always hit people with it.
Yeah.
Remember Johnny Polo?
He's a great promoter.
Remember Johnny Polo?
Yep, Johnny Raven, early Raven. Johnny Polo.
Oh man.
Who did he manage? I'm trying to think.
The Quebecers.
Okay, yeah.
It was Jacques
Rougeau.
Jacques Rougeau and his name was Jacques St. Pierre.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Quebecers.
They used to do the movie, come off the thing. It was like a big cannonball when he held his hand and he went up there, a big old old senton bomb come down.
Right. Oh boy.
One person I don't know if he's in it, was Bam Bam Bigelow.
If he's in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's in.
I'm not.
But that's a guy.
I feel like he might have gone in recently.
Yeah, you would think that, or even Oliver Humperdinck.
Maybe he hasn't. You might be right. I don't think he has gone in the Hall of Fame.
Somebody ask their phone.
Huh?
Ask a phone.
Ask a phone?
Yeah, ask a
Let's
phone.
see.
We need to know.
Technology is 2016.
Time to ask a phone. Be like, phone. I'm
willing.
willing. Well, I think he's dead. For sure.
Yeah, he is passed away. He passed away a while back.
But
And what about King Kong Bundy? Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? 5.
He's not in the Hall of Fame?
Not that I know of.
Bundy?
I know what Stud is.
I
Well,
feel
didn't
like
he
he
go
would've
from
been
like
a-
the main event to like wrestling little people? Like
Yeah,
the
WrestleMania
following
2,
year?
he had a big storyline where he took Hulk Hogan out, and then it was like a match that Hogan had with Don Muraco. He was called the Magnificent Muraco back then. And it was like I believe it was like a Saturday Night's main event or something like that. And then he avanced him and splashed Hogan. He was out. He had bad ribs, and then they set up a big fight at WrestleMania 2 in a steel cage match. And that was like one of the good ones. And then the following year, he's wrestled against Hillbilly Jim, against midgets.
All right, there's a Bleacher Report article. He is not in the Hall of Fame, so these are the biggest omissions from the Hall of Fame right now.
Oh, they have a list?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, lay it on us, man.
Let's see. 20 biggest omissions. Stars who have yet to retire. So obviously it's Undertaker, Triple H, Kane. Jericho's obviously going to get one eventually. Well, these don't count.
Oh, The Rock.
Silly.
Oh,
Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not what I meant.
Diamond Dallas Page, but he'll get in there.
Yeah.
Oh, he will, yeah.
Psycho Sid.
That'd be cool to see.
Pillman's not in there.
Yeah, Pillman should be. They should do a whole thing for the whole, like, the Hart
How long
Foundation
was his
faction.
career?
He had a weird career though, because Pillman had he was injured for so much of his career when he was in ECW and
He played for the
WWF.
Bengals, didn't he, before he went to
Yeah,
wrestling?
and so I mean he worked throughout the '90s. He just was injured for a lot of the time. He was actually becoming big. So he was tag teams with Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hollywood Blondes in WCW, and then he went to ECW. Well, he wrestled obviously on his own in WCW for a little while.
I remember that Stone Cold, when Pillman first came in, he had that little storyline together where he broke his ankle, and then Brian Pillman was at home, and then he had a gun.
Oh, this must be an old article because this lists Medusa, who's in there now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Pillman,
Alundra
9
Blaze.
millimeter. Pillman.
Honky Tonk Man is not in the Hall
yeah,
of
he
Fame.
should be in it.
That's surprising. Bam Bam Bigelow. Stan Hansen. Oh, wait,
No,
he got in
was
this
just
year.
In it this year, yeah.
Demolition.
Yep.
Who's
Who'd
not in
have
there?
thought
Wow.
Have
that
they
was
ever
hard.
done a tag team?
Jake the Snake's listed. He's in there now.
With Demolition?
This
Well,
must-
no,
yeah,
I
this is a
mean, have
couple
they
years
ever have they ever put anybody in the hall as a tag team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three Birds
yeah,
is
Three
listed
Birds.
right here, and yes, they just went in as a tag team. Legion of Doom.
Yep. Legion of Doom.
The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, there's been quite a few.
Like the tag teams I want to see in here is the Bulldogs.
British Bulldogs.
British
Yeah,
Bulldogs.
they should be in there.
The Hart Foundation, either as a tag team or a faction.
Ron Simmons, wait, did he get in this year?
Ron Simmons been in it for a couple years.
Yeah, this must be an old list. British Bulldogs listed. Rick Rude,
And,
obviously.
And JBL's not even in the Hall of Fame yet.
Bob Backlund.
He's in it.
not
Maria
really.
Menounos actually.
That was like
inducted him.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this must be 3 years old. Lou Thez, I think he also got in 2
Yeah,
years ago.
They did a thing this year where they had the classic. They did that side induction when they announced him, all these golden era guys like Lou Thez and I know Gorgeous George was in there for a while.
Yeah. Owen Hart.
Owen
not in
needs
there.
to be in there bad.
Bruno Sammartino, who got in 2 years ago. Vince McMahon.
I wonder who would induct Vince.
Obviously, he's gonna get a nod.
If
And
they-
Macho Man, which is obviously he got in. 2 years ago.
When McMahon gets put into the Hall of Fame, Jesse Ventura better do the induction.
Oh yeah,
I would love it.
McMahon.
You haven't told me what to do, McMahon. You still can't tell me what to do. You're in my state now. Remember, I'm a Navy SEAL.
It'll probably be Shane and Stephanie together inducting him or something like that,
And
I could see it being Triple H.
Yeah,
or Triple H. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Vince, I want to just tell you,
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's good enough. He's hokey. Send him a TNA.
He just squashes somebody during the induction. He just buries somebody.
I don't know. It did feel like for a while he was slapping people down like crazy. Why
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you just give it to me again?
Well, look at Kennedy.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kennedy. He was.
Ken
You
Anderson.
know what? He was.
He did mess up a lot, and that's the reason why they did let him go. I heard.
he wasn't.
He was hurting people,
Yeah.
and you can't do that in the business.
Right.
You know,
And he was never all that. I mean, I liked him when he first came in, but his shtick kind of wore a little tired.
They just skyrocketed him.
Yeah.
Like going through all these former world champions, even going.
That
out
was
to
a
rivalry
rough.
with The
That was a
Undertaker.
rough time, though.
Yeah.
That was
They were trying to
the
find-
mid 2000s. Bad time.
See, I always thought '93 was probably the worst time in WWE history. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's one of
gimmicks,
those transitional
a lot of those
periods.
Gimmicks, the new generation.
Just coming out of the rock and wrestling era, and then ECW was coming out, and people were like, I don't really care about watching Doink the Clown anymore, and I
Which
kind of want
Doink
to
is
watch
that?
these guys bleed all over each other. That's a little more entertaining for me because you know what? I'm 14 now, and I need something. And I'm an adult. All right, I want to see someone bash someone's head in with a sledgehammer or a barbed wire bat. I don't want to see some clown
throwing confetti at me.
Yeah.
Who was he? Rip Taylor?
Rip Taylor. Yeah, so that's where that came about, and then they transitioned the Attitude Era, obviously, and then after that they did the whole invasion thing, which they had like too many people on the roster that they didn't know what to do with.
I was at that Raw,
similar to right now, and hopefully, and then after that, like the mid-late 2000s was not good. I was not a fan.
It's because we have no more competition, so let's do what we got to do. People are gonna watch anyway because they're bored.
And CM Punk, in my opinion, like really saved it in 2011 when he cut that promo and started making things more interesting.
I just wish they would have given more time to build on that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it was hot for a little while, and it fizzled out really quick.
Well, the best is when
it fizzled out kind of fast. Yeah,
like when he left as the holding champion without having a contract, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and I guess he had signed, according to what he says.
I watched the viral video where CM Punk comes in and Triple H was doing a Q&A at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, he, because that was in the storyline, but I guess he legitimately didn't sign a new contract until that day.
Yeah.
The Money in the Bank match. So
it was like the final hour.
Yeah. There's like right before the pay-per-view was supposed to start. So what are we doing here? Like,
it was just great how it went because you even see him go against. He went to an indie circuit, even wrestled Dean Ambrose.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
It was like
that's
a
cool.
little gymnasium match.
After that match?
He had the belt with him and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
He'd be going to his like school. He's like, look what I got. You know?
That was a cool angle.
Oh, it was one of the most original ones that they had,
and it felt real.
Because I remember I hadn't watched like wrestling for like 8 years or something. Like at that point.
Yeah, and see, it brought a lot of people back in, like that Las Vegas thing.
On social media. It's like, did you just see what happened? And then like I posted on there, like, yeah, you got to see this promo. It's crazy.
And then it was legitimately a good product for the next couple of years, and I feel like last year. Or like 2014, 15 was kind of weak.
No, it was totally weak.
And
like Seth Rollins was the only thing keeping it going, really.
Yeah.
It was very stale. Like the same people faced each other all the time. And like I remember back in the day, when I was watching on the weekends, Saturday morning after Saturday morning cartoons, be able to see these guys, like the bad guys, the typical heel, go against guys like probably like Iron Mike Sharp or
and just cut right through them. They used to showcase people, the stars like that all the time on Saturday.
And those are the best guys
right through them.
Like Steve Lombardi, Barry Horowitz, they pull a lot of people over.
Right.
And that was their job. And you basically, man, I can't wait for this guy to get his fucking ass kicked. It's like Honky Tonk Man had one of the longest runs
as Intercontinental
champion. All of a sudden, here comes the Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam 88, and you beat him in like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we finally beat him. But I remember that's how Randy Savage became a face. Because Honky Tonk Man said, I'm the greatest champion of all time. He's like, oh, no, you're not. He's like, you think you're going to take my champion? Oh, no. I'm like, Honky Tonk Man, it's on. And then the Hot Foundation was holding Macho Man, and he just leveled him with the guitar.
Yeah.
And you just see Randy sell it so well, he just like went limp.
Right.
And then Miss Elizabeth is like crying and everything. He's like, stop it.
Savage was so good. There's definitely something to be said about that whole CM Punk thing. It turned everything around, and then there were a couple weak years, and now that they're starting to have, like, I think since Shane McMahon came back, it started to get really interesting again. Like,
he has that
whether or not he actually had so much to do with that,
something
or if he was sort of like the catalyst that sort of the poster boy for that whole thing. I mean, he obviously did have those feelings about the product, but
well, I mean, he's back with the company now, right? He's no longer working, and it was like,
I don't know how much he actually has to do with the company right now, though. Technically, like actual backstage.
I don't even know what his title is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't like half be on the show.
Yeah, but he
unless he finds a way to only be out there for pay-per-views and Raw.
Yeah.
It's like they've been taking
it's
turns.
like
but
working once a week.
He wasn't even on like a few of the Raws in the past couple months. So he'll be there sometimes.
Stephanie McMahon rubbing it. Oh, guess what? Shane's not here. He's on vacation as usual.
Yeah. So that did start this whole thing of like bringing new talent and everything, and it's really cool. and it's exciting to watch every week again. I just hope, you obviously can't have like surprise guests every goddamn week. So hopefully they're good enough to keep it rolling like that.
It's good to keep in it. It sinks you in because you want to go, okay, what's going to happen next week? What's going to happen next week?
And AJ's killing it. AJ's doing great.
He's taking that ball and run with it. He's always been that talent. And to me, I never thought that John Cena and AJ Styles was the typical dream match.
Yeah.
Because I never really thought about it because they're two different spectrums. Like John Cena is big and powerful and all that kind of stuff. He has his 5 moves of doom, and then you have AJ Styles that he makes his own moves up. He put a little extra on it.
But if you put it like that, then it does sound like a perfect dream match.
Yeah, let's let the big Spider-Man go.
They
against the
are,
Hulk.
they are total opposites type of thing. Yeah, it's perfect.
So what's the next pay-per-view looking like?
Battleground.
Battleground looks good.
Triple threat for the world title, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Still.
Yep, and the likely doing AJ Styles Cena again.
Yeah, they are.
And let's see, what is it? Charlotte versus Sasha?
Is it been announced yet?
I don't know, because she's
I thought it was
back.
going to drag out to about SummerSlam.
Yeah, they might want to do that at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I was surprised they're doing the triple threat match at Battleground. Why not save that to SummerSlam or a major pay-per-view? It's the Shield. It's like the big Shield triple threat
Shield
match.
reunion.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where the match is so good that they know that like people are going to go ahead and tune in.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd save it for like a major event. That's all. Like I don't know. It's just like a match that people have been waiting for a while.
Like a Sasha Banks.
I mean, if you say it like that, it makes sense. But like the product still is like on shaky ground. It's doing way better than it was. But
yeah, they just want to sell a more minor pay per view because they know people are going to buy SummerSlam. Yeah, I can see that.
But that's what I like to see. The match I want to see is Sasha versus Charlotte.
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's going to be good. They might do another tag match because it was weird that they did a women's tag match at what's it called?
The one that just had Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank. I don't know why they did a women's tag match, not a title
just
match.
Probably to build up the turn that Natalie had.
Yeah,
she just got frustrated and started beating the snot out of Becky Lynch.
I bet maybe they'll do a triple threat match at Battleground, like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and then they'll do the one-on-one at SummerSlam.
Like Sasha got the short end of the stick or something like that. And
something like that, yeah.
Or like Charlotte ended up just leaving.
That'll be good. Any mix of that would be great, though. Even if you threw Bayley in there.
Oh, that'd be nice.
If they did even better. How about they do Sasha Banks and Charlotte at Battleground, and then you bring Bayley in for SummerSlam, do a fatal 4-way of the 4 horsewomen.
That would be sweet
for the title.
that'd be good enough to be a main event.
Yeah,
that's right in the Barclay.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool. That's all speculation, though.
But that's a great thing about being a fan.
I know.
You can always
speculative bullshit. Yeah. All right. Well, what do you say?
All right. Let's set up the. All right, guys. I have a feeling that if I left this thing on all night, I'd have a podcast that'd be like 25 hours long or something stupid.
Yeah, you'd have a whole series.
Oh yeah,
A whole series.
that's a
just
good idea.
cut it up.
Series.
An actual Iron Man marathon of how long can these two men talk about professional wrestling?
You just have like 12 episodes in one day.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
If we ever get involved in Twitch, we could try to go for the record.
Yeah.
We spend so much money on Red Bull for you guys. Not me. I need my beauty sleep. Well, you both got creative endeavors going on. Plug yourselves.
Okay. I got so I write a weekly wrestling article for the Metro website, Metro Boston. So if you go on the Metro website, metro.us, and it's called WWE Talk, and I write one. It comes out pretty much every Sunday. Occasionally, once in a while, there'll be one that comes out on Monday, depending usually if it's on a long weekend or not. But yeah, so check that out. I write it every week, and you can follow me on Twitter at I am Nathan Burke, and my fan page, my comedy fan page, Nathan Burke Comedian on Facebook.
Nice.
Well, you, Vin?
Well, me, as most people don't know, I'll be starting my own thing as well. Doing vlogs and all that kind of stuff will be coming up soon on YouTube and Twitch. But right now, if you just want to get, you know, if you want to follow me, I'm on at Scorpion Marine on Twitter. I don't have a Facebook fan page because I have no fans yet. But that's what I'll be doing.
It's fine. Neither do I.
Yeah, it's okay. I think I have more bots on Twitter than I do actual people.
Yeah. Beautiful women friend me every day.
Yeah, I'm from like cougarhunt.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and my podcast you can listen to, So Now I'm the Asshole, on iTunes and on fans.fm/So Now I'm the Asshole, which is my comedy podcast.
That sounds like a great catchphrase.
So now I'm the asshole? Yeah, no, that's not bad.
I see your t-shirts in the future.
Exactly.
Well, I hope everybody have enjoyed this. Depending on how much people enjoyed it, we may or may not do this again very soon. I think it went well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you once again to Nathan and
Thank
Vin.
you.
And as always, stay vigilant.